Yo, what's good? What's good? What's good? It's your boy, DanliDivine. I am back again. Today I'm going to be talking about how it's okay to be alone, but don't ever feel lonely. The reason that this came into my mind is because I realized something. For me, and I'm sure there's other people out there who feel the same way. It's almost as if people come into your life just for you to introduce them to other people, and then they leave your life. They might not necessarily leave your life completely, but it's like that relationship is gone now that they are connected and contacted. Yeah, connected and have been uh, networked with other individuals. It's almost as if you're supposed to be alone, but if you love yourself and you are used to being by yourself and you thrive being alone, you're not going to feel lonely. See, I have been that type of individual for a long time. Like before I even met my wife, I was at a point where it was just like, okay, cool. Every relationship that I'm in usually goes to shit. Anytime that I have friendships, I realize, you know what, they're usually around me because of the perks that I had, the people that I knew, the things that I do. So therefore, it was easy for them to network. It was easy for them to look like they're living a type of lifestyle that they may not be, or to get in with the right people. I'm not a very social person. Be honest with you, this whole podcast was it was more of me putting myself into an uncomfortable situation to become comfortable in the situation. I do this for my mental health. I don't do this to try and gain money, to gain views and all this stuff. I do this more for my depression. I realized a long time ago that my depression was coming about because I was not stimulating my mind in a way that was actually working it out. I wasn't thinking in a way that was stimulating my mind, and it was causing me to go into depression. So with that, I need to have intellectual conversations. I need to think. That's the reason why I've gotten back into drawing. I've gotten back into reading. I've gotten back into doing a lot of research on things and just learning in general because I need to stimulate my mind to keep myself in good spirits. With that, it makes it to where I'm alone a lot. I value my peace. I value being able to have the energy to give to people if I need to, rather than being drained all the time. A lot of people in the past did not understand that, and it caused a lot of issues and a lot of things to be said about me that were not true. Which is perfectly fine because I know who I am. I love myself for who I am. I understand I have done things in the past that some would say are not right, some would say are. But again, good and bad is based off perception. Because if you think about it, every villain is a hero and every hero is a villain. Just depends on who is looking at them and what their values and beliefs are themselves. I apologize. I am fighting a sickness that the children gave me. Yes, this lovely one right here, this beautiful little thing right here. Biggest smile in the world. But when she gets sick, she makes sure everybody else is sick. I mean, one of the cute little things, Daddy, can I have a kiss? You go give her a kiss and she cough in your mouth. Boom. Patient zero has infected the house. But yes, it's okay to be alone, but just don't ever feel lonely. And when it comes to something like that, if you're noticing that individuals are stepping different or moving different, or you notice that you're always usually the one reaching out, or when it comes down to planning anything, you realize, you know what, no one really ever shows up. That's because they're not showing up for you. They're showing up for who else is going to be there? Who could I associate with? What can I do with this? Now, oftentimes you can notice because if you invite people over and they ask who else is going to be there, right there, that should let you know, like, okay, cool, you're coming there to see if anybody else is going to be there. You're not really coming for me. Tracking, got you, got you. That's when you have to understand that you need to remove yourself. Now, check it. Removing yourself is self care. Don't ever feel bad for removing yourself. If you remove yourself away from other individuals and they feel a type of way because you have backed away, that means they had an ulterior motive towards you. They wanted you for something, and they noticed that you are stepping back. So when you're stepping back, that's when the healing in them The unhealed version of them is going to come out. They're going to show you that they have some baggage that they're holding on to. They're going to start projecting things onto you. Now, if you don't know what projection is whatever's going on with them, they push it onto somebody else to make it seem like it's somebody else's issue. Heed these words. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. Because people will have character slips. Those character slips will tell you a lot about them. If you're noticing people talk about people that they consider friends or coworkers behind their back, chances are they're doing it about you too. If you notice that someone always has issues in their life, they probably are starting them. If you notice that every time they speak, it's woe is me, woe is me, woe is me, they most likely just want all attention to be on them. They are attention whores. And they probably look down on other people. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. Do not take that time, do not mind taking that time to step away, to recoup yourself, to observe from a distance. You're not retreating. You're observing from a distance to figure out how to make your next move. There's nothing wrong with removing yourself for your self-care. Your self-care is important. If you are like me where you feel that you are alone and you feel as if you thrive better alone because you've gotten used to being alone and you are not lonely because of the fact that you love yourself and being alone brings you peace. And the only time that you allow others to be around you is if they add to that peace. That's where we need to get. We need to start understanding that if we allow people to be around us, they add to our peace, not take away from it. There's a lot of y'all out there who will sit there and have people around you who are creating drama in your life. But because of the fact that you want to be around people or you want to be able to say that you have friends, you tolerate it. You need to work on your boundaries. There is nothing wrong with being alone. The problem with being alone is if you start feeling lonely, that's when you know there's an issue because there's something with you that you don't like. You're not comfortable being by yourself. I was there once before in the past. When I first got out the Marine Corps, I did not like being alone because I was alone with my thoughts, and the thoughts that ran through my head were not those of the best. I would think of things that happened in the past. I would dwell a lot in the past. And then with it, I would end up getting anxiety about the future on if these things would happen again or what if I'm not able to do this and so on and so forth. A person with depression is stuck in the past. A person with anxiety is living in the future. A person at peace is living in the now. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. Today is a gift. That's why it's called present. I say that again. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a gift. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a ooh. Oh my gosh, I just forgot it. I'm gonna have to edit that one out. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. Today is a gift. That's why it's called present. Mind you, everything does not go how you want it to go. When you first start walking alone, if you have not been doing anything to heal on things that have happened in the past, your worries, your traumas, you are going to feel very uncomfortable. That is the reason why I started doing things that made me uncomfortable. So that way I can learn myself better while at the same time making myself comfortable in things that used to make me uncomfortable. So now when situations arise that me being the introvert that I am normally would make me want to clam up, I'm already just like, okay, cool. I may be quiet. That's because I'm observing. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm just observing. Because I have also learned you cannot trust everybody with everything. You can trust everybody, but you can't trust everybody with everything. Me not knowing you from Adam, I'm not going to sit here and disclose information about myself for you to sit there and try and use it against me later on. As I start to get to know you, I may give you little bits and pieces, but there's going to be things that are not true in the things that I tell you. So that way, if you do go and try and throw it in my face, you're dead wrong. Or if you do try and run and tell other people things that you think you know about me, I know where it came from. Sorry, I'm one of those individuals. Trust is hard to come by. I've learned that when I was younger. There's a lot of individuals who will try to use you, manipulate you, or abuse you mentally. It's not a fun game. I've been through all three of those. And it's either going to take a lot of alone time and self-reflection to get back to who you are, or either a good group of individuals who are able to reassure you that the things that happened did happen, to be able to validate you in the way that you feel, in a way that is not just trying to make you feel better. Now, it's very hard to find a group like that. Unfortunately, I didn't have that. So, of course, it took a lot of self reflection and over the years to realize, you know what? I did do the right things. I was doing the right things. So, I mean, that is good. But removing yourself is not a bad thing. The biggest thing is you need to learn to love yourself. Love yourself unconditionally and unapologetically. I gotta say that. I feel that I need to say unapologetically a lot due to the fact that there's a lot of people who feel bad for loving themselves. This term narcissist is running around like crazy. So now it's, if you show that you love yourself and you will put yourself above others, people will start calling you names, thinking that you put yourself on a pedestal. They'll say that you're narcissistic and all these other things just because of the fact that you don't want to deal with nobody else. You rather deal with yourself. Now, with that, people need to understand what the term narcissist is. I'm not going to get into it because there's a lot of ways, there's a lot of other platforms that y'all can go look up and find out what a narcissist is. I'm not speaking it on here. I've dealt with enough of them in my life, and I'm not bringing that energy to my platform. I spoke about it once before in the past, and the amount of drama that it caused, I'm not dealing with that. I'm not dealing with that. On here, yes, I do speak about my personal things that I have gone through in my life without going that too deep into them. But with that, when you're dealing with a narcissist, they will do everything in their power to try and make your life miserable. They will try and bring up things that have nothing to do with them from years before you even met them and try and make it seem like it's about them. So with that, I'm leaving that alone because, like I said, I'm not bringing that energy to my platform. That is not where I want my platform to go. Now, granted, I have a lot of individuals who come in and speak their truth, and the things that they talk about happen to deal with that topic. Yes, I will put their speak. I will take their truths and put it up on the platform. I allow them to speak. I may speak a little bit about what I've gone through to let them know, like, hey, you're not alone. You are not alone in that situation. But I'm not going to dwell on that. And even with it, I inform them of steps that they can take to heal from that situation. There are ways that things that I did healthy ways. I'm not talking about like going out and stringing out on drugs, nothing like that. Don't do that. When you are alone and feel as if you are the only person who has dealt with something like that and you're being ostracized because of your truth, or even you have your mind playing tricks on you, telling you things, and you have to catch it and be like, nah. The mind is one of the worst enemies of yourself. You are your worst enemy and your biggest critic. You will sit here and stop yourself from doing things because your mind is telling you that other people are looking or you're being judged and things along those lines. A lot of people fail because they never tried. Failure is the first attempt in learning. Fail is the first attempt in learning. FAIL. Biggest thing on that is a lot of people fail, but really don't even fail, or correction, they don't think that they failed when ultimately they did fail because they never tried. So if you're not trying, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. That's still missing, right? For all you basketball fans, soccer fans, if you don't take that shot, you have a fish you missed, right? Because you never know what could have been. So you could have missed or you could have made it, but that miss is still there. It was never taken. It's the same way with fail. It's the same way with being alone. When you're lonely, you have that feeling of failure, like no one wants to be around you, like no one's there, as if you're doing everything by yourself. You have no support, you have no help. You feel like there's no reason to continue going on because nobody cares. But when you're alone, you're able to accomplish things. You're able to do things. You can see the vision. You can walk that path the way you're supposed to walk it. You're not relying on anybody, and your mind can't tell you, oh, this, and this, and this, because you're focused. Like, for example, when I go out by myself a lot of the times. I might invite a couple people or a person. That's because I know that they would add to my piece. They won't take away from it. So whether they show up or not, I'm going in thinking I'm going to have fun because I know that's what I'm in control of. I know I can control my happiness. Nobody else can control my happiness. Even if a place were to get shot up and everything, it's like, okay, cool. That has nothing to do with me. I'm alive. I'm alive. All right, cool. I had a good time. Yes, that is where I'm at in life because I'm used to moving alone. Now, granted, yes, having people around can be good. However, I don't want people around who are going to disrupt my peace. If you're disrupting my peace, I'm removing myself from you because that is my self care and that is my boundary. I choose to remain peaceful. I choose to remain happy. I choose to be in solitude. I am content with my emotions. I am content with the way that I feel. And with that, you're not going to do anything to try and bring me out of my character. 'Cause I had somebody say in the past, when somebody brings you out of your character, they have successfully made you their slave. And I'm sorry. Looking at the history of those that came before me, it's not something that I want to be. Kanye West said it a few years ago. He was like, 400 years, that sounds like a choice. Because at any moment, we could have did like the Haitians and revolted and took back what was ours. Now, speaking to a personal level, are you a slave to yourself? Can you not take back your mind? Can you not take back your feelings? Can you not take back who you are? Think about that. But yo, this was another episode of Divine Time. I appreciate everybody who decided to listen to this. Run it up in the comments. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you are still a slave. Are you able to take back your mind? Are you taking back control? Are you remaining a slave to the system, a slave to yourself, a slave to society, and a slave to others? Relax your mind. It's divine time.